Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online series 8 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we are trying out a really interesting Lugia team that I saw on the RVGC subreddit, so huge credits to Sam, aka ChaBoiTheReal, for the team. I've linked a team report that he wrote for this, as well as the rental and a paste, all down in the description below. So yeah, it's a really fun team, super interesting, and I think he was able to peak at top 150 on the ranked ladder with this, so huge props to him. Lugia is not a restricted Pokemon that you see very often right now in the format. In fact, I think in over 100 games I've played it maybe once or twice total, and so I wanted to explore it because it's definitely not one of the more common restricted Pokemon picks, and as I said when the format first came out, I really do think you can make every restricted Pokemon work in some way in this format, so really cool to see a team being built around Lugia. The idea, as you may imagine with this team, is to activate that weakness policy on Lugia. With Multiscale, you're not going to take too much damage, and Raichu is going to be your way to enable that policy with the self-Volt switch. So Raichu Lugia is a really strong lead, but of course there are a lot of things to watch out for. Redirection, for example, is a big one. In a couple practice games I played, I think I ran into both Clefairy and Indeedee. Unfortunately, that really makes it like 10 times more difficult to actually get that weakness policy activation off, so at that point, you're often hoping for your opponent to just target into Lugia. The thing about Lugia, though, is that it's really bulky. In fact, it's one of the bulkiest restricted Pokemon you can use, but unfortunately, it's a little bit lacking on the offensive end. Even if you get that policy off, you actually will often miss out on knockouts. So typically, I think you want the Lugia's policy to try to target like non-restricted or non-Dynamax Pokemon. And so if you can stall out your opponent's Dynamax, for example, and then somehow play towards Dynamax Lugia in the end, that would be great. Of course, Raichu Lugia, also a really strong lead, and if you can maybe just target around and pick up a knockout in each of those turns on whatever is not Dynamax, that could also play a big factor into it. Lugia has some really interesting type coverage with Flying, Ground, and Ice, so cool combination there. To round out the team, you've got Galarian, Moltres, and Kartana as really strong offensive options. You're not going to max Kartana most of the time with this team, I believe, but Moltres definitely could max, especially if you get a nasty pot off. I mean, Raichu Moltres is certainly a strong lead combination with this team as well. Whimsicott provides Tailwind support in case your opponent also has Tailwind and you want to match them, and then Stack Attack here primarily is for the Trick Room matchup against opposing Trick Room teams. You could even potentially max Stack Attack to go up against it, and I believe it also helps out against potential Xerneases, although Xerneas is not exactly super common right now. So I'm really interested in trying out this team. I think generally, Lugia has never been super popular in the years that it's been allowed in VGC, and has certainly never been like a super meta pick, and so it's cool to be able to explore it a little bit here. So thanks once again to Sam for the team, and thank you to you all as always for watching Road to Rank. If you enjoyed, please show support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. And question of the day, I want to know what your favorite thing about Gen 2 is down in the comments section below with us using Lugia. So let's get into it. Alright, getting into our first game of the day. We're up against Palkia. Alright, that's kind of neat. So fun fact, I played a couple practice games to try to get the hang of this team, and in those games, I think I ran into what's probably the worst matchups for Lugia in like 3 Ice-type restricteds, 2 Calyrex Ices, 1 Kyurem White. Those are not fun to go up against. And then Redirection also hurts. So, yeah. I think if anything, though, it taught me how you can still potentially approach the matchups. Like, it's not unwinnable. It just means that you have to play more loosely with Lugia, unfortunately. But here, I think Raichu Lugia is actually pretty viable. We need Stack Attack because it's the best Porygon answer. And in the back, Kartana doesn't feel... Well, Kartana's valuable actually solely for the matchup against Porygon. Moltres might be a little bit better with Fiery Wrath, but without Life Orb, it's not really doing that much, and I'm probably not maxing it. So, But my opponent does have Celesteela, so Moltres can nasty plot a bunch in front of it. I'm going to go with Moltres because Porygon can be a pretty tough Pokemon to go up against in the endgame with this team. But with the Lugia, with the Moltres and the Stack Attack, I can nasty plot / body press. So, let's see. This is an interesting matchup for Lugia because it does have max Hailstorm, so I can just one-shot Thundurus or Landorus turn 1. And they lead Landorus, okay. Man, I have a bunch of different ways I can approach this. The play I want to make the most turn 1 is self-Volt Switch into Hailstorm into Landorus. And then I get Stack Attacka in next, and that just counters the Porygon. I like that a lot. I'm just worried about them being Scarf Earthquake here. But I can't really see that happening. So, okay, before I make this, let me just double check what they have. They don't have a single Ice Resist, so max Hailstorm is huge for us in this game. So, Yeah. See, the thing is, the other play I could make is Fake Out Porygon and Hailstorm, but if they're AV Landers, like, with the +2, we just knock out. Oh, I guess I'm faster with Lugia, though. So maybe I could have just faked out Porygon, Hailstorm turn 1, but I don't mind Volt Switching because I get the Stack Attack in. They switch out Porygon, which I'm happy to see. If they Dynamax Landers turn 1, like, it's just such a good spot for us. However, with them switching in Celesteela, now I'm actually worried about them being Choice Scarf potentially. That would be a problem. Scarf would make me sad here, because if they're not Scarfed, like, man, this is a dream turn 1 for us. Where we get the policy boost, we get the knockout for free, and we have turns to play with. Okay, they're not Scarf. That is so good for us here. Because Hailstorm should just dunk on the Landorus here. And we can bring in Moltres or Stack Attack. I think I like Moltres a little bit more because I can just... Oh, no. Who do they have in the back? Palkia, I guess? Okay, I'll go into Moltres because you've already revealed Celesteela. That's already pretty passive. If you bring Porygon after I knock out your Landorus, I'm just going to Nasty Plot and set up in front of you. Or I could actually just max Airstream and like Fiery Wrath as well. But that was a fantastic turn 1 for us. And I guess there's a small chance Landorus is gonna be Focus Sash there. And if they're Sash and they actually get an Earthquake off against Raichu, it's not good. But that, like, turn 1 could not have gone better for us. So I'm obviously very stoked about that. They are lefty Celesteela, okay. We're Goggles here, so the nice thing is we don't take any chip damage, but we do reveal our item, but that's okay. And, yeah, I just brought out Moltres because, like, Palkia was my opponent's restricted mon. I think it's decently likely. Oh, wow, it's Thundurus. Okay. I mean, oh, no, I don't want to run. I think we just switch Moltres out into Raichu. This is why Raichu's such nice support as well. And just Hailstorm into Thundurus. Very little downside in going for that play. Stack Attack is very good in this endgame against that Porygon. A single Body Press obviously chunks away at it for a lot. So, I think we had the best 4 Pokemon here. We just have to execute well now. Because Whimsicott was not going to do very much for us, right? It can taunt, but, like, I'd rather actually just have... Like, Stack Attack is a must-bring. I think if you see Porygon 2 in your opponent's team, with this team, you have to bring Stack Attack. One of the practice games I had earlier, I just, like, kind of gave up my Stack Attacker earlier, kind of underestimated the Porygon in the endgame, and then realized I just don't really have great ways to damage it. Even if you have, like, Raichu, Lugia, and... like, something else in the back. It can be tough. Okay, so they bring out Thundurus. They're going to max it. That's fine, because... I mean, Max Hailstorm should just KO you, and I have Lightning Rod support right now. So, I mean, unless you're max guarding, like, we just KO you here. But they do max guard. Okay, good play. However, this means I can just fake out Celesteela, Hailstorm, Thundurus this next turn, and their max is basically completely wasted. They just Leech Seed. That's fine. This is exactly also why I brought the Moltres in the first place, because like I said, now I can Nasty Plot in front of the... Yeah, I can Nasty Plot, that's such a big deal. I don't even know if I need a Fake Out with Raichu here, to be honest. I can just switch it back out. Because you're not going to Max Lightning in this position. You're going to Airstream or you're going to Knuckle. So, I don't think a Max Knuckle KOs us. I might. Is there any point in switching out here? I mean, Volt Switch, it's not really that valuable at this point. Fake Out into Celesteela is safe. I don't think I want to switch either of these into a Max Knuckle. Okay, I'll just Fake Out here then. And go for the Hailstorm onto the Thundurus. No, actually, I like Volt Switching more, actually. Yeah, I like Volt Switching more. And here's why. Because I don't care if Thundurus KOs Raichu here. In fact, I actually want you to knock me out. Oh, it's Max Darkness. Well, you can see how good Lugia is in terms of bulk. We don't take much damage from there, but Max Darkness on a Protect set is interesting. I'm like, I don't even know where that's coming from. Brutal Swing? No, there must be a stronger Dark option, right? Unless it's Special Thundurus with Dark Pulse? What's also interesting is that they didn't bring Palkia in this game, but actually, like, I think that was a smart decision on their end, because Lugia would eat Palkia up. So this is why Volt Switching would have been better. If I Volt Switch there, I get Stack Attack in, and then I just double up to KO your Porygon and then win the game. Now they potentially get Trick Room up, and things get Well, actually, even if you get Trick Room up, I think we're fine, because we have Stack Attack in the back. So what I do here is just Volt Switch and Aeroblast into Porygon, bring in Stack Attacka. If you don't Trick Room, Lugia just KOs you. And if you Trick Room, then I Body Press to KO you under Trick Room, and then Stack Attacka wins me this game. So, yeah. I think if your opponent does not have Ice types or Redirection, like those are the first things I get nervous about in Team Preview, because Redirection means that I can't just easily Volt Switch, and Ice types mean that Lugia has to watch out substantially more. But now I think we're in pretty good shape, although I do think that Volt Switch into Thundurus was the play last turn. Because if you knock out Raichu, I get a free switch, and if you don't, then boom. But I think Volt Switch here works out as well. And we'll just Aeroblast. Not going to KO Porygon, but it does enough damage where Body Press should KO. Perhaps Earth Power is safer, or Blizzard, because they're more accurate here. But the Max Hailstorm on this Lugia set's really nice in dealing with Landorus. So, yeah, that worked out perfectly. And this is why the Raichu is so nice as well. I wasn't expecting that Max Darkness, though. Like, normally when I see Max Darkness, I don't know. I'm just curious what physical attack that's coming from. But we are going to bring in Stack Attacker right now. The Stack Attacker actually has a lot of special defense bulk, so that's nice. And while Celesteela is kind of a nuisance, I have Body Press / Nasty Plot Moltres in the back. So we get the Aeroblast animation off, which I'm really happy about. And, wow, I actually almost picked up... Okay, that was a crit. I was going to say... If anything, that should be a testament to, unfortunately, how weak Lugia is. Okay, Flash Cannon does pick up the knockout, so they will get a Beast Boost here. Slightly concerning, but it's okay. What boost is it? Defense. Okay. That's fine. And they Trick Room, yeah. This is fine, because now I just... I play towards Moltres in this game, right? Sure, you have Leech Seed and Flash Cannon, but, like, I can just Nasty Plot a bunch. And I'll get a boost by KOing the Porygon here as well. So, yeah. Volt Switch last turn would have just accelerated this game quicker, because I think once I Volt Switch, I Aeroblast plus Body Press should KO the Porygon. But we're still in... It'd be a pretty similar situation regardless, so I'm going to just bring out Raichu now. Bring out Raichu. We're just going to fake out Celesteela, Body Press Porygon. No reason to risk missing here. And it gives us a Beast Boost. That's what I want on the Stack Attacker right now. So, yeah. And then the next turn. So we've seen Leech Seed. We've seen Flash Cannon. Has Celesteela protected you? I don't think so. Normally, I don't know. You run Flamethrower Protect. Okay. And it has a defense boost, but yeah. This is why I think like we actually needed to bring Moltres. You have to think about your endgames against like really bulky Pokemon like Porygon and Celesteela. If I don't have Stack Attacka, the endgame against Porygon becomes significantly more awkward. And if I don't have the Moltres, my answer against Stack Attacka is a little bit suspect. Because like this thing is really tanky. It is just going to want to Leech Seed everything. So yeah. But in a 3v1 scenario, we should be good, I think. 3 turns of Trick Room left. I am going to just Body Press into Celesteela. Actually, I suppose I should reverse Trick Room. No, Stack Attacks first here. Yeah, I think I'm content to just Body Press and Volt Switch here. Might as well utilize us attacking first. Especially if they... Oh, I don't... That actually does pretty good damage. Cool. And they just Flash Cannon. Okay, yeah, nice. So it does a sizable amount into Stack Attacker, but like this is fine. I'm getting a lot of chip damage now on the board. Like Volt Switch is actually so significant here. So Raichu plus Lugia was like the perfect combo for us in this game. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, I think the main thing here is my opponent just couldn't use very much out of their Dynamax, and turn 1 was like the perfect turn 1 for us. But that's the thing to note if you're playing with this team. Like Lugia's damage output can be a little bit underwhelming, so you are often aiming for super effective attacks. If you're not getting super effective attacks off, even at +2 with Max, you might not pick up knockouts onto things. So yeah, I think Body Press and Fiery Raichu seals it up for us, and no need to Nasty Plot at this point. Celesteela is not really able to pick up a knockout onto anything, so we should be good. But yeah, you do want to really watch out for like really bulky Pokemon, and Trick Room is a really interesting matchup with this team because Stack Attacka alone is super good against Trick Room. But yeah, Lugia loves going up against a lot of like the common non-restricted mons, Landorus, Rillaboom, Incineroar. You can one-shot a lot of those. Aleki even. I mean, Aleki does a little bit more damage, but like the Lugia has ways to hit all of those and one-shot all of them potentially. So that's the upside about Lugia. So yeah. And I think Palkia would have been interesting here Oh, I'm curious about their team. Let's see. So it's Safety Goggles, Palkia. Hydro Pump, Spatial Rend, Flamethrower, Protect. That's cool. Light Clay. This could have been scary, to be honest, because Lugia just doesn't do very much damage to begin with. If you set up a Light Screen, like, I find that Light Screen or a Salvest is so tough. So fortunately that didn't come out. Celesteela was Flamethrower, yeah, Protect. It was AV Landorus, so, yeah. And it was, oh, it's Lash Out, not Brutal Swing. Yeah, that makes sense. So no Max Knuckle here, which is interesting. Normally that's what you see on Thunduruses, but I think my opponent basically had no max option in this game. Like, they had to Dynamax Landorus or Thundurus, and, you know, the Lugia just covered both of them really, really well. So that is the potential advantages of Lugia. But it's not just going to be able to pull that off in every game, so you do have to watch out for it. Like, you have to assess basically when you can max and when you can't. I think if your opponent has a really strong Ice-type Pokemon, like Calyrex Ice, Glastrier, Kyurem White, you have to think twice about it, basically. But if not, if they don't have many ways to, like, just completely demolish it immediately, then it's actually not in terrible shape. So, yeah. That was a good debut match for Lugia, so I'm happy about that. Let's get into our next game here. What do we got? Huh. Looks familiar. Okay. Okay. So there's two approaches here. The first one is just to go with Raichu Loot. I also wonder if +2 Volcalith KOs AV Raichu. Because, like, what I want to do here is just Volt Switch, bam, Max Quake. This is where Whimsicott wants to come out, because you want a Tailwind in the back. Oh gosh, Zacian is so good here, though, I feel like. It's a really big problem. How do I deal with Zacian? Other than Max Quake Lugia. I don't think I can really bring Stack Attack. You know, I say that, but, like, maybe Trick Room works here. Huh. I actually think Trick Room is the right approach. I just haven't had enough time to think about this matchup, and I'll probably be able to figure it out after this game. Team preview doesn't give, like, it's tough because, like, I'm not super familiar with the team to begin with. Man, Moltres is actually really good against, like, the Venusaur and the Urshifu stuff, but I don't know. I think if I could reselect team preview, the goal was to get Lugia under Trick Room. So how would I do that? Well, I guess the problem is if you just lead Dragonite Cole, right? How am I going to get Trick Room up against that? They don't really, because I can't fake out the Dragonite. Yeah, they do just go with Coalossal Dragonite. Okay. So here's the interesting thing. I can just Volt Switch Max Quake turn 1. Multiscale is obviously helpful here. I can't fake out into Dragonite. But, yeah, I think it's just... They're gonna, obviously, self-Aqua Jet. Yeah, I can't get Trick Room up, right? If I go Stack Attacka, unless we survive with the Shuka Berry. Well, maybe we do. But then it could just Max Flare into Stack. I don't have Redirection. Cortana. Whimsicott. No, those are useless. I think Whimsicott's... Well... Maybe it was just Whimsicott plus Lugia instead. Whimsicott Lugia works as well. I know actually in the original team creator and the report they listed, I think Raichu Dragonite works. Sorry, Raichu Lugia works. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, Max Quake is nice to have here, right? Especially if we get to +2. We'll just one-shot Cole. Yeah, they go for Aqua Jet. That was expected. Obviously, we're not going to go for Fake Out here because of Inner Focus. I think Tailwind... Honestly, Whimsicott Lugia may have been the better approach. Just kind of safer, right? Because Cole's not going to outspeed Lugia under Tailwind. That's why you have Tailwind on this team, by the way. Okay, so it's Volcalith. Alright, they target Lugia. So while Lugia's offense is not great, look at its defense. That was a +2 super effective attack. We took less than 50%. Alright. So we take those. We absolutely take those. Unfortunately, I'm going to end up doing a little bit of damage with self-Volt Switch here, but this play covers... Well, maybe it's kind of useless. I don't know. Either way, we got a Whimsicott here. The thing is, this is a great turn 1, but I still have a Zacian to deal with in the back for my opponent. That's a big problem. But this is obviously an ideal start. Like, we do just get the one shot here, which is great. But we're going to take Residual Chip here. Dragonite can Thunder Wave. That's actually kind of scary, because I'm going to Tailwind this next turn, but if Zacian comes in, I have to make the calculated decision whether or not to... I guess Max Guard works on Lugia, actually. Because, like, Zacian's just such a big threat in this matchup, to be honest. Where, like, even though that was a great turn 1, obviously, this is still very far from over. Because, like, the thing about when you use this team is that Whimsicott and Raichu do so little damage, and so you're basically putting all your eggs in Lugia plus whatever, you know, support Pokemon you're bringing. So Zacian comes out immediately. So this next turn, basically, I have to make the decision, is Zacian going to protect here? I could always just protect with Lugia, but I don't want them to sub up in front of me. Tailwind Hailstorm? I don't know, I really anticipate them to just attack with Zacian here, because the protect is super duper obvious. Oh wait, I have Taunt. Oh no, but if I Taunt, I don't get to Tailwind. Okay, I'll Tailwind. I just know the Dragonite has Thunder Wave, that's why I'm hesitant here. If I were them, I would honestly protect Thunder Wave. But they also know I know their team, presumably. But they protect. Okay, nice. We just won the game off that, I think. Because we just Max Quick Zacian next turn. Nice. So this is the upside of Lugia, honestly. If you can survive these super effective attacks, and you often will, and you actually get a one-shot in retaliation, it's such a big deal. I just think the most important thing with this Lugia is you need to get those super effective attacks off. But if you actually have the type advantage, which you often will, because, like, flying, hail, and ground is really good coverage, it's great. So, Lugia feels really volatile to me in the sense that sometimes it feels amazing. Honestly, we had 2 really great back-to-back games, but other times it feels, like, completely useless. So, it's about identifying when you think you can max it, when you don't think you can max it, when you think you can maximize your damage output with it. So, yeah, now we're obviously in... Well, I guess if you have Urshifu in the back, you can Sucker Punch into Lugia, but it's Torkoal. Okay, I'm very happy to see Torkoal here. That's great. You know what's scary, though? My opponent can still just win this off a double protect right now on the Zacian. Wasn't it Yawn Torkoal, though? Focus Sash? So I think we just Dazzling Gleam and Max Quake here. I guess Zacian should go for the double, right? Yeah. I could have read into them going for the double and doubled up onto Torkoal. Because, yeah, they didn't protect with Torkoal. Gosh, I don't know. It's so... Like, this is so scary, because honestly, if they get that double, this is still completely winnable. In fact, I actually think my opponent probably wins off the double, just because what I have in the back is so bad against Torkoal. So, I could have made the read there, let my opponent goes for the double, but doesn't go for the double with Torkoal. But I didn't think Torkoal could knock us out anyway, even just by getting the special defense boost off here. So let's see what they opted for. Because if I remember correctly, that Torkoal doesn't really have much offense. So yeah, it was just Heat Wave. Yeah, and Lugia is such a beast. So I think it was correct then to target Zacian. Because even if you get the double protect off there, I still get the special defense boost. I still do a ton of damage. And then Lugia should still survive. Although they actually did get the burn as well. So... Wait, hold on. Can they win because of that burn now? Oh, because we have Focus Sash Cortana, probably not, but... Oh, no. That's a little concerning. Because I think without the burn... Oh, actually, probably doesn't... Yeah, there's still a turn of Vocalith anyway. Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Yeah, actually, without the burn, what would happen is I would just switch Lugia out to Cortana to take the last turn of Vocalith and then bring it back in for Earth Power. But now the Torkoal can protect. My opponent could actually win this now. That's wild. But props to them. Yeah, making the right play. I mean, I just fake out here. I can't switch out Cortana because it has Sash. Oh, that burn stings. Yeah. Okay. They didn't protect Torkoal. Wait, does that Torkoal not have protect, or did they just forget to go for it? They definitely should have protected there. Because that should win us the game now. What was the... Oh, no, it was Focus Sash Torkoal in that set, right? So I think we were maybe okay anyway, because, like, well, if you protect there, I have Kartana, Raichu, but Volt Switch actually... Like, Volt Switch, Sacred Sword, I think does enough, and with AV on Raichu, we probably survive even a Heat Wave, so I think we're probably good anyway, but... I mean, this is what I mean by, like, it can be really volatile, where despite how good of a turn one we had, like, you still have to play very smartly, because, once again, you're left with not very much offense in the late game. So, yeah, ideally, you know, from what we saw in the last two matchups, we went up against Pokemon that had 4 times super effective weaknesses to Lugia, and that's what Lugia does capitalize off of. A lot of Pokemon are weak to Flying, Ground, and Ice. If you're going up against Pokemon that aren't weak to any of those, and they Dynamax, it's going to be a problem, typically. Now, if they can't do super effective or much damage into you, then that's also pretty good. But, yeah, like, that's why I think, like, Ice types in general are really scary. And Redirection in general is also really, really scary, so, yeah. Alright, getting into our third match here. What do we got? Kyogre, okay. Well, that's pretty good for Lugia. They do have Zapdos, but Raichu's really good against Zapdos. Porygon's a problem, though, so once again, like, you do consider Stack Attacka. Wow, this is a weird one where, like, all of our Pokemon are actually pretty good. I just don't know what the best 4 are. The problem with Lugia, if I mean, ideally I save it for late, but I don't know how easy it is to actually accomplish that. The thing is, Moltres is actually not bad here, too, because what I could do is just go Raichu Moltres, fake out Nasty Plot turn 1. Because they don't have a Dark Resist or Immune. Oh, man, that's actually really tempting. So, like, what I want to do, I think, is Raichu Moltres, Stack Attacka, Lugia. Because Lugia here is actually not terrible, even without its max. Well, I played a game earlier, and I think Earth Power into Incineroar did, like, 35%. It was just so sad. I don't like Whimsicott here into double Fake Out. Kartana is honestly really good against Kyogre, right? But it doesn't do well into Incin. Yeah, I'm going to try the Moltres approach here. Mainly because I think if they lead passively, for example, Incineroar Porygon, and I get a Nasty Plot off turn 1, could be pretty good for us. You know what? One interesting play you could make with this team is, like, turn 1, pivot Moltres out into Lugia and just self-Volt Switch. It's pretty hard to see that play coming your way, but I also think, I mean, Lugia just takes a lot on that. And it is Porygon Incin. This is just what I was talking about. Okay. Kyogre's probably in the back. We have Lugia in the back. They're going to probably get Trick Room up. We have Stack Attacka, though. Man, maybe I should have just let Stack Attacka. Oh, it's Trace. If you're Trace, you're probably Eerie Impulse. You're probably Eerie Impulse Foul Play. Huh. Which means Nasty Plot doesn't even accomplish anything. Man, that's the one thing. I should have thought about Eerie Impulse, Porygon. Shoot. Shoot. If you're my opponent, you just Parting Shot into Moltres right now. Trick Room. But if you Parting Shot and I get a Nasty Plot off, I guess then you're bringing something in that has to take a +1 Fiery Wrath, potentially. I mean, maybe they don't have Eerie Impulse. I just think that's the most logical assumption here. And I think you definitely Parting Shot into the Moltres. I don't know. I mean, Raichu, Lugia... Okay, or Snarl. Yeah, that works too. You know what I can go for this next turn? It's really cheesy, but I can just go Nuzzle into Fiery Wrath. Because it gives me Paraflinch chances. I don't think it's a terrible play to go for, but I could also just Volt Switch. You know what? I don't mind Volt Switching and Fiery Wrathing because it's still a +1 Fiery Wrath. And then I get Stack Attacka in. And then I can just Body Press Porygon if you set up Trick Room. Yeah, it feels okay to me. Oh gosh, actually I don't even know if I KO with Body Press. Probably not. Stack Attacka is actually an interesting max option, but I think Kyogre's in the back, so probably not. I probably should have led with this Pokemon, but... yeah. Actually, does Body Press KO? I honestly kind of think it does. Yeah, there's Parting Shot. I like how they played that, by the way. They went for Snarl first and then Parting Shot. I think that was smart. Instead of just Parting Shotting immediately, If you have Snarl, yeah, you should just go for it on turn 1. Because if you Parting Shot, then, yeah, you have to bring in something that takes more damage. So maybe Kyogre comes out here. It's going to be a problem. That is going to be a problem. Yep. Okay, can't say I'm super happy to see that. No flinch either on either. Flinch would have been huge, actually. Like, it would have been super big, but now my opponent gets Kyogre in safely. Which is a big problem. I don't think I can Dynamax. I think Lugia has to Dynamax in this game, but if Porygon indeed does have Eerie Impulse and the Incineroar having Snarl, well, I guess Snarl would activate my policy. That's an upside, but I'm going to Body Press here. I wonder if they cover for a Wide Guard option here. Body Press Protect is pretty safe. Okay, I'll go for that. I don't think I should just blindly attack here. Oh, they do max Kyogre. Okay. So I have... I mean, I'm happy to see max Kyogre over Water Spout, but I also think that's a good play on their end. Because you want to respect Wide Guard on Stack Attack. Because if I had Wide Guard, you also want me to... You don't want me to get, like, Reverse Trick Room here, right? So, Geyser into Stack Attack is just a guaranteed safe play. I don't know if this Body Press KOs. I really hope it does. Oh, that wasn't really even close. Activate Berserk. You don't see that every day. Yeah, it is Eerie Impulse. Oh, gosh. And Geyser presumably into Stack. Yeah, well played. Very well played. I think I could have led Stack Attack on this game. Unfortunately, them having Snarl, Parting Shot, and Eerie Impulse means that my Moltres strat wasn't really as great as I initially planned it to be. And I've mentioned this before, but like Eerie Impulse Porygon's really picking up in usage, so honestly, I probably should have seen that coming. I guess I'll bring out Raichu. I think we have a shot if... I just really don't want to max Moltres. This thing's at neutral, just a little damage. Ugh. Like, I think we should probably max Lugia. So, I mean, I can fake out here. I might be forced to max, though, honestly. I think we have to max and max Darkness in this position, to be honest. So, fake out, max, and Darkness. And at least, because it helps us survive. And here's the problem. If Moltres just faints this turn, I'm assuming Max Geyser and Rain if your Mystic Water KOs. Maybe it doesn't, actually. Then if not, then I definitely wouldn't have maxed. But I don't know that damage calc. Because what I'm thinking here is, okay, I need to, like, at least I'm one turn ahead or behind in the Dynamax, which is good, right? Because it means I get an extra turn to work with. I also kind of just need to knock out Porygon, because this thing will just heal all the way back up if I don't KO it right now. Oh, we outspeed Kyogre. Oh, that's really interesting. Because, yeah, this Moltres is not max speed. That actually maybe changes things dramatically. Well, maybe not that much. Because, like, you just bring out Incineroar, now you can Snarl, and it's kind of sad. They're max Geysering. Okay, into Raichu. Unfortunately, despite having AB, we still faint, but it's okay. Maybe it was kind of a waste of a max there, then. This is actually really interesting, though, now, because I do have a special defense drop, and Lugia is not bad for us in this endgame, and if you Snarl, you're going to activate my Weakness Policy as well. So what do I want to do here? The thing is that Protect on Lugia is so obvious, but I still think it is probably the correct play to go for in this position. There's still 2 turns of Trick Room left. Ouch. Protect. I don't want to Airstream. Ideally, I'd Airstream on the last turn. Incineroar is not really pressuring. Like, I think I just need damage on a Kyogre, so I'm just going to Protect Max Darkness Kyogre this turn. Get it to -2 SPDF, because then I can Aeroblast next turn and Airstream. We've eliminated Porygon, which is actually a really big deal, because I thought that was a big problem for us. It's just tricky, though, because, like, I didn't need to, like, the Max on Moltres last turn ended up not being great, well, but no, I think, like, it's still the correct play, because I think if we lose Moltres there, we just lose the game, because then you just Geyser Raichu, and then you pick up 3 knockouts with Kyogre, just like that. They parting shot into Moltres. Okay, that's okay. Is it? I think I have to play this turn this way, I think, so, yeah. See, but the thing is, their last one's Metagross, so, like, Moltres and Lugia could actually pull this off. I don't think Max Darkness was going to KO Metagross at -1, right? If so, then I wish I Max Darkness the Metagross slot instead. Radiant to Lugia protecting here is a pretty easy play. Yeah, they made it. Props to them. Holy cow, that does so much damage. They did activate Berserk, though. Oh, that's actually really interesting that you activated Berserk. Okay. Because I'm neutral. You're at -2. Does Max Airstream KO Kyogre? I don't know. Because what I want to do here is Earth Power and Max Air. I don't think Max Airstream KOs, even though they're at -2, but I don't know. I don't know. And I want to Airstream here because we know Kyogre is faster than us, so this allows us to outspeed later on. Okay. Oh, they switch. That's a good play. That is a good play. Wow, this is going to be really close. The thing is, now I outspeed. I'll probably activate a policy on the Metagross, but that's okay, because I won't activate it until... Oh, they protect. Okay. Oh, could I have just won the game off doubling up into the Kyogre, then? Perhaps. This is intense. The thing is, I can double protect this next turn. I also have Nasty Plot. I just don't know how easily I get it off. I also don't know if Fiery Wrath Earth Power even knocks out the Metagross slot. Yeah, even if I Earth... What I needed to do... Well, no, I was going to say Max Darkness Earth Power, but then your Kyogre outspeeds, comes in and just Water Spouts a bunch, so that's not great. +1 speed. +1 speed. I wish I could activate Lugia's Weakness Policy so badly right now, but I can't. Man, I mean, Double Protect here is just so obvious. But I think I have to make it, because, like... If I knew Metagross was not Weakness Policy, like, I just think it has to be Weakness Policy here. So I'm just going to make the Double Protect play. Oh, that is really interesting. Nice play. So they get Kyogre in. What did they go for here? Because if I actually just Nasty Plotted with Moltres, that's such a hard read to make, but it would have been a game-winning play. They went Fake Out onto... Okay, yeah, so they covered for that option. Nicely done, nicely done. I think it's looking kind of rough now, to be honest. Because I don't think Aeroblast into Fiery Wrath is a KO, so I think I need a flinch. Or maybe Origin Pulse isn't KO. But because I double protected, I think I go for this. They might just protect Kyogre Parting Shot, though, but they don't. Okay, so if we flinch here... Yeah, oh my gosh, that does so little damage. Okay. Crit the Incin. No flinch and they get the Thunder off. Alright, well played. Unless they, like, went for a Snarl here for some reason to activate Policy, but you should just Parting Shot. I really like their Kyogre switching. That was really well done. Like, I don't think I made bad plays here. I think my opponent just outplayed me. And made some really good switches. Because, like, well, actually, even with the Kyogre switching, what can I even do there other than Aeroblast? And, like, I'm glad that we get this kind of game because it highlights how Lugia can be significantly weaker, right? Didn't really get a safe opportunity to get that Weakness Policy set up. Yeah, I mean, even if I made some aggressive reads in this game, I'm not sure any of them would have helped. Eerie Impulse Porygon definitely was unfortunate to go up against because it just completely stopped what I wanted to go for with the Moltres strategy. So if I were to replay this game, how would I play it differently now that I know there's Eerie Impulse coming out? I would probably, I think maybe lead stack Attacka. See, I didn't bring Kartana into this matchup, but, like, it's so tricky because even though it hits everything my opponent's bringing for super effective damage, other than Metagross, Incineroar for Intimidate alone is just so bad, and I don't really think I want to Dynamax a Kartana in a matchup like this. Yeah, I mean, I just Aeroblast here, hope for a crit, I guess. And they switch, yeah. That's a good switch. I guess I can hope for them to actually activate a Weakness Policy right now onto like, if actually Metagross, like, Ice Punch, activate Weakness Policy, Aeroblast, like, crits Incineroar, we could actually still easily win the game. Lugia is very bulky, but it also does so little damage. Oh, it's so sad. We can't, I don't think we can win this because they are smart enough to not activate a potential policy on Lugia, which is exactly how they should play. So instead of like going for an Ice Punch, they're just Iron Heading, which is the correct way to play, because I actually think we would, well, no, I don't even think a +2 Earth Power KOs Metagross. And yeah, regular Lugia is just kind of sad. It sheds a single tear. Like, my best way of dealing with Metagross is just max Earth Power, a +2 max move, right? What else did I have in the back? Stack Attack, a Body. No, actually, Moltres was good. You know what I want to calc after this game? Max Darkness into -1 Max Darkness into Metagross, because I had the opportunity to make that play into Incineroar, and I think that was maybe where I could have gained an advantage. Also, I have Blizzard, so I could actually freeze. I think this game is more or less over, but they could still mess up, misclick, go for a super effective attack. And we could freeze too. Like, I think our win con now is a freeze. Basically, I think I try to KO the Kyogre. We're going to knock out Incineroar with Earth Power. They're going to keep Iron Heading. They bring Kyogre back out. I protect to bypass, I think, what Kyogre is probably going to want to protect. And then after that, I don't even think Aeroblast KOs. Yeah, so you see the upsides and downsides of Lugia in one episode. And I'm glad to highlight that because, yeah, like, this Pokemon isn't, like, super OP or anything. Oh, we didn't even knock out Incineroar. that might be AV, right? That would make more sense. Was that a crit? Oh, not even. I just did more. Yeah, well played. Okay, so I'm gonna forfeit this next turn, I think. Well, I guess I could still freeze. But what I want to calc is the -1 Moltres, because I was thinking about Max Darknessing Incineroar there, because it does cover for a switch out. And if we actually nail Metagross on the switch, it is such a big deal. So Fiery Wrath, Max. Fake Heroes on this team could be pretty interesting. Fiery Dance. No, I want Fiery Wrath. If you're max HP, we're at -1. It's not KOing. I don't know if they're max HP, but that's pretty standard. Also, we're not even modest max, so 164. Yeah. Even if you're not max HP, it's only a 38% chance to one-shot, so I think one thing that this team maybe struggles against a little bit is special attack drops in general. Special attack drops, Assault Vest, and Screens. As well as Ice type and redirections, as I mentioned. Because this team, like, really needs Lugia or Moltres to get boosted to actually do a lot of damage. Otherwise, like, you're playing with two Pokemon that are, like, not putting out a ton of offense. And so, like, yeah, Eerie Impulse here, really, really great tech. Because if they didn't have Eerie Impulse, then, like, for every Snarl or Parting Shot you get onto Moltres, I get a boost anyway with Nasty Plot, right? Like, you trade. I get +2, you bring me down to +1, but I can just keep plotting up. And then, like, I think Moltres was the right max option in this game. If I could replay this, I would have let Stack Attack on Moltres, I think, rather than Raichu. Raichu was kind of useless for us, other than a Fake Out turn 1, so I don't think that was really necessary. Yeah, well played. Really well played. Whimsicott's not good. Because it's just going to get hit by a Fake Out into Incin. It is a tricky matchup. I think I could have maneuvered it, but it does not favor us because being able to... I don't have a way to deny... Okay, I mean, if I really want to deny Trick Room, I guess I need, like, Whimsicott Raichu, Fake Out Porygon turn 1, Taunt turn 2. But I think, like, Raichu Stack... Ooh, Raichu Stack Attack. That's interesting. I actually maybe really like that. It's just tough because, like, it's really hard to actually come out with +2 on Moltres or Lugia. Because I can just get hit by a Snarl or a Parting Shot. So yeah, I think I have to sit down a little bit longer and like map out a better game plan there. I think it probably starts with leading Stack Attack and having Lugia and Moltres in the back. Moltres is a really good max option here, but it needs to get to at least +1. If it's at +1, Max Darkness does so much, but unfortunately it wasn't, right? So, yeah. I think, like, I have to position very carefully in that game. I didn't do a great job of that. And, you know, when we were going into this game, I said I was maybe even thinking about Trick Room, and I think that could have been appropriate. Like, I don't know. I don't really like Raichu here, so I like maybe Stack Attack on Moltres, Lugia in the back, and Kartana? But if I don't bring Raichu, Lugia does so little damage, so I don't know. I gotta go back to the drawing board and think about it, but great game. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. So you guys have seen both the strength and the potential weaknesses of Lugia, but I'm happy to highlight both of those because, as I said, this Pokemon can be kind of tough to use. It can be really, really good, but also can just be like very underwhelming in terms of damage output. So you saw the full range today where it absolutely smashed it in those first 2 games, and then in this one really wasn't able to do very much. But that's the thing. The metagame is evolving. Eerie Impulse is honestly, I feel like before, it was already picking up on, I feel like towards the end of Series 7 is now even more common. It's a really good move. In addition to Porygon running it, I mean, Lecky, Raichu, a lot of strong Pokemon are carrying it. So it's definitely something that feels a lot more meta, and it's because of how well it shuts down so many of the common restricted mons. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. If you enjoyed, please share your support by leaving a like, and I'll catch you all next time. All right, peace.